Guys, tonight I'm going to talk to you like a man should, direct, no dancing around. And this Iran situation has shifted, and some things I questioned in the past few days, they played out in a way that I didn't really fully expect it to. But that's the thing. I don't sit here and blindly parrot talking points like most influencers do. You've seen the guys posting the same things right back to back. They get the scripts emailed from DC and they post them out. But sometimes when you question it, you don't always get it right. Sometimes you get it wrong, or at least not entirely right. But that's how you stay sharp, and that's how you lead and not follow. So if you're here for some lockstep, bootlick, worship the narrative garbage, you're in the wrong place. This is Black Scout Survival. We don't bend, and we think for ourselves. That's the only way to do it. Too many people, and one thing I noticed with comments I've been reading, people just really have no idea of what's really going on in the world. They don't question the narrative. Like today, I posted up a short where I asked if we're bombing Iran for having nuclear weapons. Why don't we bomb North Korea? You can go watch the short. But anyway, people are saying, well, Iran is a terrorist group. And then my question is, well, did we bomb them because they're a terrorist group, or they promote terrorist groups, or do we bomb them because they have nukes? Because they didn't say that. And trust me, I'm no apologist for Iran. Screw those guys too, right? I'm America first, guys. I'm not flying. I'm not out in the street waving anybody else's flag. Okay. Now, President Trump authorized precision strikes on Iranian nuclear sites, Fort Al, Natanz, and Esfahan. These weren't surface targets. They were deep, hardened, fortified facilities. They weren't warning shots. Matter of fact, he tricked everybody in the world. They were bunker busters, man. Hard punches. Iran responded, and as we expected, missiles launched toward our forces in our bases in Qatar. But here's the twist. They telegraphed the shot. Every missile was intercepted. No U.S. casualties, thank God. Not one American death. And now Iran is going to make a deal, we think. Okay. But what we're seeing is Trump's, let me post it up here if I have it. Let me see. I got it somewhere. Sorry, here it is. Trump's post here. Anyway, this is it. This is what he's calling the 12-day war. In a phased ceasefire supposed to be kicked off, Iran halts fire within 6 hours. Okay. Israel halts within 12, and a full de-escalation by 24 hours. Now, it probably came because at first Trump was not talking about regime change. But once he started saying maybe a regime change is good, they're like, whoa, because you know what time it is. You're about to wind up in the ground is what's going to happen, right? So again, Trump didn't display weakness. That is command, okay? Now, let me be clear. I questioned the play, man. I had doubts. I did. Because we've seen it before, man. Phony wars, false flags, power grabs. Too many sons of this country dying for globalist interest and for other countries, like with APAC donors. So I think it's okay to question sometimes because I've seen too much of it, man. I've known guys that died from this kind of stuff. So the thing is that sometimes when you question it again, you get it wrong. Okay. But what you saw with this, it was strength without an occupation so far. Now, Lindsey Graham would love to put boots on the ground there, but this was pressure without bloodshed, man. Dominance without dragging us into an endless war. I feared it. A lot of people did. Trump didn't just drop bombs. He dropped leverage. Iran took the hit. They launched their symbolic fireworks, and now they're walking it back because when real strength shows up, negotiation doesn't happen at the podium. It happens under pressure. Okay. Let me see what I got here. Now, one thing I will say is that there's some satellite imagery here that shows that trucks at Fort Al days before. They're believing that maybe they got out the uranium. Okay. So maybe they didn't care, or maybe they knew, so they got a warning, they got it out. It could all be scripted, even from the American side. It could be. Could have been, hey man, get your people out of there. Get the uranium out too, right? Because I don't know if you know this, America taught Iran back in the 50s under Eisenhower for them to build nuclear weapons. So, and they're not under the proliferation agreement. It's kind of like North Korea isn't either, and that's why if you didn't watch my short earlier today, where I said, well, why don't we bomb North Korea, because they do have nuclear weapons. They're not 2 weeks away. Israel's not under the proliferation either, but they have 90 nuclear warheads, right? Rest of the Middle East, 0. So sometimes you got to ask the questions, man. Now, I didn't predict that outcome of this, and I'm not apologizing for asking hard questions either, to be honest. That's what men do, though. If you want someone that regurgitates party lines, there's a million other of those influencers out there, a million of those YouTubers out there. You can go watch those guys. If you want someone who thinks out loud, gets it wrong sometimes, but never stops asking, then you're in the right place. That's how leaders operate. That's how warriors sharpen their minds. And that's how we sharpen each other. I always love to quote Marcus Aurelius. He's one of my favorite guys in the world. And he says, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek truth. That's strength, not stubbornness, truth. The other thing I will tell you, a life lesson I've learned, is I never fight a battle that I know that I'm wrong. Why would you? Lots of people do for ego. If I'm wrong, I'll happily admit it. I'm not going to sit here and argue knowing damn well I'm wrong. Now, let's get to the twist that just dropped, though. Israel just carried out its largest airstrike on Tehran to date during the supposed ceasefire window. So let's not act like this is a clean peace treaty. And I don't think anybody thought it was. Matter of fact, they were saying that there was no agreement. Iran was. No agreement. Israel Air Force carrying out the largest wave attack on Tehran right now. So you see here, Trump may have forced the hand, man, but Iran may be looking for an exit. They may also think, man, you know what? Screw it. We'll make a ceasefire, but we will use proxies and sleeper cells, right? Israel's still swinging. Again, ceasefires on paper don't stop bombs in the sky. This might have de-escalated some fronts, but others are still hot. In a war, actions speak louder than words. And press conferences, right? Don't forget about sleeper cells. FBI is warning about it. Every Instagrammer is warning about it. Proxy groups don't wait for orders, man. They don't follow UN protocol. Hezbollah, Houthis, maybe even operatives already embedded in the West, any of them could act on their own timeline. This is why it's always important to stay frosty, stay ready, prepared. It's not paranoia. It's insurance. We don't wait until after the explosion to check our gear. We live ready always. Now, let's talk about the spin. Okay. The spin is, again, hours after Trump announced the peace treaty or the ceasefire, they denied it. Iran's foreign ministry publicly denied it. They said there was no agreement, no official ceasefire. Just a condition if Israel stops striking Iranian targets by 4 a.m., Iran will stop retaliating. Now, they've since come out and said, yeah, we'll stop. But let me decode that for you. That is a ceasefire. They're just not calling it one because it was Trump who brokered it. and publicly admitting that that they got stood down is not a good look for Tehran. But make no mistake, man, they backed down. No more missiles, no direct retaliation. They blinked, and now they're spinning it as strength. That's how these boys are, because the leadership don't want to take it out there. Dude, Biden couldn't even get a ceasefire in a video game. Trump got de-escalation on the world stage in under 24 hours. That's the difference between real strength and fake diplomacy. Between peace through power and war through weakness. And listen, this doesn't mean Iran's off the board. Not by far. They're still dangerous. They're still building. They're still aligned with China, Russia, and every other regime that hates American sovereignty and hates you. But this moment, this proves when America stands tall, the world takes a step back. I mean, who in their right mind would want to F around with America? Who would? Dude, I'm a civilian now. I have Gen 3 white phosphor, multiple pairs of night vision. I can see in the dark. I'm a civilian now. What does our military have? They have things that, dude, no one wants to mess with the United States military, period. Not at all. But don't let the media lie to you. Trump doesn't just hit Iran, man. He outplayed them. They're not calling it a ceasefire, but they stopped. And in the real world, that's what winning looks like. So, you know, the thing is, I am critical about some other things. I would like to see the deep state taken down. Sometimes you got to trust the plan. Hopefully that happens. You know, this plan obviously worked. But let's dismantle the deep state. Let's get them out. I don't know that's going to happen, but anything's possible. But again, I will be critical, guys. I will be critical. That's what I'm here for. You have enough YouTubers saying the same stupid things every day, or reading the party scripts they're getting from DC. I'm just not that guy. But let's talk about the takeaways from this. Peace through strength works, right? But only when it's real strength, not drone speeches, not hashtags. We're talking precision, power, no apology. And when you're a man, you don't pretend you know everything. You don't act like your pride is more important than the truth. You say, hey, I called it like I saw it. I questioned it. It changed. So I call it again. That's resilience. And that's what we're about. So stay sharp, stay humble, stay dangerous. I'm Jack from Black Scout Survival, man. And God bless you. And God help the enemies who mistake peace for weakness. Take care.
2, 3. 1, 2.